Today, the music died, remembering entertainment powerhouse Quincy Jones, gone at 91. Thriller, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, The Color Purple. How the man with the musical Midas touch was driven by losing his mom at the age of 7.
I'm going to let music be my mother. And music never let me down. Never.
So sad to say, gone is Quincy Jones. Hi, folks. Welcome to Extra. I'm Billy Bush. Any artist would want to be able to say that they worked with Quincy Jones. As Lionel Richie said, he was the master orchestrator. Inside and outside the studio, nobody put it together better than him. Quincy helped put the moon in Michael Jackson's Walk. Producing hits like Billie Jean and the iconic Thriller. He was the man behind the 1985 song that brought the world together. He helped bring The Color Purple to the big screen twice. The first one gave Oprah her big break.
You told Harpo to beat me.
It was about being around Steven Spielberg and Quincy Jones and Alice Walker every day.
In 3 words, is that I had no better friend.
All I had was my sister.
He is everything.
Quincy Jones has passed away at the age of 91. Just one day ago, Quincy had posted this photo with his daughter Tina and the message, "So proud to be yo papa. Big hug. I love you eternally." He died surrounded by his family at his Bel-Air home last night. They called him one of a kind, saying they will miss him dearly.
10 movies, 6 albums, and 4 Broadway shows. It just makes you younger and younger and younger and more excited all the time, you know.
That was one of our last interviews with Quincy, who won an incredible 28 Grammy Awards over the years. He rose to the top of the entertainment world from the streets of Chicago after his mother was institutionalized when he was only 7.
I said, if I don't have a mother, I'm going to let music be my mother. And music never let me down. Never.
Fly me to the moon. Let me play up there with those stars.
In 1964, he collaborated with Old Blue Eyes himself.
I started with Billie Holiday and the L on, you know, and it doesn't stop.
In the 70s, he began his years-long collaborations with Michael Jackson, starting with The Wiz.
Come on and ease on down the road.
1, 2. We are the world. Right.
In the 80s, he worked with a galaxy of stars on We Are the World.
Make the playback and then we'll start chopping wood.
The story of the making of the epic hit was turned into a Netflix documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop. In 2013, a humble Quincy was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Where does this honor stand in the long list of all your accomplishments?
I don't know. I got some more of my friends.
Yeah.
I get to see some more of my friends, and I've been lucky that I've been involved in every genre of music since I was 13 years old.
Usher was there for the honor and recently told us Quincy was one of his biggest inspirations.
Harry Belafonte, Quincy Jones, amazing people whom I felt have been not only incredible contributors, but also 2 grand supporters and mentors.
He wrote the instantly recognizable theme for Sanford & Son and executive produced Will Smith's breakout television hit, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Carlton, I can't see too many honeys being impressed by, hey, babe, I busted myself up playing pee-wee football.
Today, Will called Quincy a mentor, a father, and a friend. Oprah paid tribute to Quincy with this photo, saying she has never experienced anyone whose heart was so filled with love. His family is saying we celebrate the great life that he lived and know there will never be another like him. Bye. finally, I got a chance to have dinner with Quincy Jones at a sexy night spot in Beijing at the 2008 Olympics. Dinner was at 11. I got home at 4. He was 75. He loved the ladies, and the ladies loved him. We'll leave it at that. Name another person intricately involved in so many culturally impactful events. Thriller, Roots, We Are the World, The Color Purple, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Was he the GOAT of the music biz? Oh, he's certainly the launching point to the conversation. Interesting that Quincy Jones passed away on the eve of this election. He always had impeccable timing. Right on cue, you might say. Bye-bye.
Gone but never forgotten, having shaped music for over 70 years. Access pays tribute to the great Quincy Jones. And welcome to the weekend edition of Access Hollywood. I'm Zuri Hall.
Quincy raised his voice, like, okay, now guys, we got to get you there. And he screamed at us. Please.
Quincy Jones was always very calm. His only concern was time.
Time was Quincy Jones's enemy when recording the best-selling single of all time, We Are the World, back in 1985, as the doc, The Greatest Night in Pop, showed us from that historic night. And he did it masterfully, as he did for so many recordings in his 8-decade-long career. Sadly, Quincy passed away this week at his home at age 91. He leaves behind a music catalog that is to be envied. Listen, he would be in the record books alone for just producing Michael Jackson. But there was so much more to Quincy's story. Scott Evans tells us all about the man affectionately known as Q.
Nothing happens overnight. God's gift to you is that natural talent, and your gift back to God is to develop that talent.
Words to live by, and words that guided Quincy throughout his long and remarkable journey, a journey that took him from the poor neighborhoods of Chicago during the Depression to the height of success and fame. Quincy's legacy is as varied as it is stunning. He leaves us as an award-winning architect of American music, a jazz trumpeter, conductor, film composer, record, film, and television producer, and philanthropist. It's close to midnight. Q is perhaps best known for producing Michael Jackson's landmark 1982 album, Thriller. Quincy guided Michael during an intense recording process that gave both artists goosebumps.
Once you get those goosebumps, then you know you got the right stuff and you got God on your side.
They caught lightning in a bottle. The record won 8 Grammys and has since sold over 100 million copies, the most in music history.
It's a great way to live, man. I mean, it's a great way to spend your life, you know.
You do it right.
To do something that outlives you and everything else.
Quincy has left a body of work that will impact many generations to come. With Michael Jackson, he also produced Off the Wall and Bad. He also worked with more of the greatest names in music, like Sarah Vaughan, Duke Ellington, Count Basie, Ray Charles, Miles Davis, even breaking barriers producing Leslie Gore's 1963 chart-topping hit, It's My Party, as well as conducting for Frank Sinatra.
Are you shooting me?
I am.
We were given insight to his remarkable life through the lens of his daughter, Rashida, who filmed the icon for the 2018 Netflix documentary, Quincy. Jones was surrounded by his family at the time of his passing. In the days before his death, he shared a loving message dedicated to his daughter, Martina, who celebrated her 58th birthday, writing in part, "So proud to be your papa. Big hug. I love you eternally." Among the tributes pouring in, the Color Purple OG co-stars Oprah Winfrey and Whoopi Goldberg. Oprah writing, "He was love lived out loud in human form, and he was the first person I ever loved unconditionally." Goldberg adding, "Her heart is breaking."
I thank God for my life every day. That somehow God led me to the right place at the right time, and I got the right calls, you know. It's beautiful.
And his influence never ended. Here's Kendrick Lamar getting career advice from Quincy, telling him not to pursue money or fame, just do what moves you, and it's going to happen.
Music legend Quincy Jones was awarded 28 of them during his lifetime. He passed away last weekend, and now we honor the trailblazer who changed music forever.
Just get up every morning and love what you're doing.
Quincy! 6 years in the business, what's your highlight?
How do you choose between Sinatra, Ray Charles, Aretha, Michael Jackson, Shaka Khan, and 50 Cent?
Fly me to the moon.
Give me the night. We did Thriller in 2 months.
More than 300 albums in a 7-decade career, Quincy Jones is being remembered as one of the most talented people to ever walk the planet.
I like to make a record I'd like to hear.
The last time Quincy was spotted out was June of last year, getting dinner in Beverly Hills. The music legend used a walker and stopped to sign autographs. All week, a flood of celeb tributes.
I had no better friend.
Name it, he's done it.
Lionel Richie, who worked on We Are the World with Quincy, shared this pic and wrote, "What a great ride." Their anthem became the biggest selling single in both U.S. and pop music history.
It was a fun session. It's hard enough with one singer. Think about 46. I think we had some divine help there that night.
Will Smith shared this pic from his Fresh Prince days and said, "He let me use his wings until mine were strong enough to fly."
Quincy Jones called me and said, listen, I have an idea, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I want you to read the script.
Quincy Jones is like James Bond.
This is a brother who's been around forever. I mean, he was a genius.
What does Quincy mean to the musical world?
Quincy is everything from jazz to gospel and everything in between.
Oprah says Quincy changed her life after casting her in The Color Purple.
Quincy Jones was going through Chicago, saw my talk show, and said, I think that would make a good Sophia. If you ever run into anybody who doesn't like Quincy Jones, you need to run the other way, because that is a dangerous person.
Quincy appreciated every moment. In 1974, he survived 2 back-to-back brain aneurysms. In 2015, he suffered a stroke that left him in a diabetic coma. He quit drinking and credited his family with helping him get through it all.
I got 6 beautiful daughters, a son, 7 grandchildren, and a great-granddaughter. And that's my pride and joy.
He's proud. I'm proud.
What's your legacy? I don't have a clue. I'm just going to keep on doing my thing and hope that it will mean something to somebody.
Tonight here, celebrating an icon, Quincy Jones. His work with so many stars, from Frank Sinatra to Michael Jackson. And of course, Quincy Jones bringing We Are the World to life. Quincy Jones was a prolific, powerful force in music for more than half a century. One of his most famous achievements, bringing together the biggest names in music for We Are the World in 1985, raising millions for famine relief. Born in Chicago, Quincy Jones got his start playing the trumpet in a band.
Mr. Quincy Jones, right there.
Eventually collaborating with Frank Sinatra, Fly Me to the Moon.
Let me swing among the stars.
While producing the soundtrack for The Wiz in 1978, he would meet Michael Jackson.
Come on now, ease on down the road.
Beginning a partnership that would create some of the world's most iconic music, producing Thriller, the best-selling album of all time. Breaking barriers, a black music executive rising through the ranks in Hollywood, 80 Grammy nominations, 28 wins. He would win for We Are the World 4 Grammys, including Song of the Year. In the Netflix documentary, The Greatest Night in Pop, behind the scenes as Quincy Jones coaches all of those superstars, Michael Jackson, Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen. Quincy Jones died at the age of 91 overnight in Los Angeles, surrounded by family. Tonight here, in his own words, on his life and longevity.
It's about hills and valleys. Anybody can handle the hills, but you find out who you are when you hit the valleys.
Love, laugh, live, and give. That's what it's about.
His talent was legendary. Our live election night coverage tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you right here tomorrow night. Good night.
ABC's David Muir, the most watched newscast in America.